Hello Sagittarius, I am Ulrich, I'm a Lenormand card reader, and today we will do your spiritual card reading for the sign of Sagittarius for the month of March. As always, we will do 4 card readings for the sign of Sagittarius, and these are based on the natural elements in your astrological chart, or for some of you on your time of birth. These basic elements are air, earth, water, and fire. Now, the 4 objects that you always see on my table are directly connected to those elements. So you choose or you pick one that you think relates most to your personality, or you choose one you feel most comfortable with. This object of your choice, it should or it will relate the best to your current situation. However, if the object and the related video does not match your first choice, please check the other videos that are immediately connected in the same session. I'm sure one of the 4 will fit you. Anyway, the matches represent the fire element, the stone represents the earth element, the aerosol sprayer represents the air element, and the shell represents the water element. Also, I want to mention, if you have questions, you can always post them in the comments below, and of course, as soon as I have time, I will answer you. So Sagittarius, here we go for your spiritual philosophical card reading for the month of March. Hello Sagittarius, and welcome to the shell or the water group for your philosophical spiritual card reading. As your first card here, we see that we need to catch our breath. What does this card tells us? Well, we all have developed an ego. This happens spontaneous since we were a child. We have our social environments, we have our parents, we have our education, and this all shapes us into the person who we are. And this ego, of course, it has a very big influence on us, but as we all know, also we are spiritual. This is inside of us, and our ego here with this card, it makes us work too hard. And it wants to remind us that your ego never will be completely satisfied with what you are doing. It will create a feeling during this period that you still need to do more and more. Here, this card tells us that right now, the best way to do is take a step back, catch your breath. This is what we are seeing here. This card tells us even if you take a few days out, your life isn't going to fall apart here. You just need to take away a break from false urges, emergencies, especially overtime, and you need to realign with your higher vibe, with yourself here. You need to connect to this higher mind, and you will see that there are probably some things that are more important that you have to do. It's like you need to come to yourself. Important with this card is that we relax here. We need to be able and allow ourselves to clear our mind and follow more on a kind of inner guidance. This is what we are seeing here. We need to detach ourselves from certain intensities that our ego is pushing up on us here, and we will need to have faith here that everything will work out in the divine order. And also, if you're resting, you will see that you more relaxed. So catch your breath here, have faith in the things here. We see here that something above us here has control, or should have control. The next card that we are seeing here is that we should not make a problem. What does this card exactly mean? Well, it tells us probably that things are not going as we should like them to go. Maybe we are not relaxing enough, as we saw in the first card here. And it's possible that people around you, they misinterpret certain intentions that you have, maybe certain projects that you have in mind, or certain works that you are doing are not working out as you expected them to be here. It's also possible that some colleagues are not cooperating as you would like them to be, and it gives a kind of frustration. This is what we are seeing here. Anyway, you could have a hard time, or your ego could have a hard time coping with this difficult situation, but it tells you also it's part of life. This is what we are seeing here. You could be in a condition now that if it's not one thing that goes wrong, it's something else here. Anyway, the important thing here is to remain neutral with this card, observe what is happening to you. Even if things are not unfolding, we should relax here with this card. If you take a step back and you relax, you will see that these daily irritations that are around you actually don't really matter on a higher level. What is important now here is that you enjoy life more, that you relax more here. Anyway, with this card, however we toss or turn it, we should expect at least some minor setbacks. For some people, it could be bigger setbacks that we are having here. But here this card tells us that the trick is to sail on a rough sea with the kind of humor that Sagittarius often has. We should apply a certain grace here, and you should not let this actually disturb your peace of mind. You should take some distance of it here. If you have this card, we are also reminded that your mind can face it. You are ready for it, and you are ready to take on the bull by the horns. This is what we are seeing here. If the problems get a little bit more severe, this is also the card of creativity. We should be creative, and we have a lot of creativity with this card. Actually, the problems are minor, and maybe you see the problem too big, so you can control it here. This is what we are seeing here. But it's important that we don't enforce this control from our ego point of view. You should see it more in the bigger picture and let something above you control it. And also, yeah, sometimes we need to take life as it comes. This is also the card of protection. These two cards together here, sometimes also it is about health. So what I'm saying here with these two cards together, if the bear is about protection and the mice could relate that something is threatening our health, maybe we have too much stress, maybe there's a lot of things around us, maybe there's stress about that certain people, certain groups. It could also be the community. Sometimes this person here, the big person, the giant here, he presents the community. Governments are putting some pressure upon us, especially on the health level. So if you have your doubt about being forced to certain medication, certain things that are put up on you in these current situation, things wisely. This is what this card says. Take your breath here. Don't let yourself force in taking medication that you don't like. This is very important here with these two cards to do so. You should take your distance from the whole thing, because this could have an impact on your health on the long run. So be wise, be Sagittarius. Sagittarius is in general a wise sign, and they have sometimes they have feelings that things are going this way or that way. You should trust on your feelings and be very careful here with your health. We only have one body, and for most of us, spare parts are very difficult to replace or not possible at all. The next card that we are seeing here, it tells us that you should not be afraid here for taking certain personal decisions. It's very important to do. But in general, coming back to the reading now, here we see that it could be that our ego is a little bit telling us that you are afraid. But actually, this card tells us something totally different. If you take a step back, as we should here, if we find our breath here, and you think about the current condition and the current situation, and you ask yourself, am I really afraid to take certain decisions? And so what am I actually afraid of? So you should listen to your mind's response here. And if you take a step back, don't be surprised if the answer that you find deep in yourself, that you are not afraid at all. And your mind, as we saw in the previous card, is more than ready for taking up challenges. If these are collective challenges, if these are personal challenges, you're ready for it. So we see 2 times confirmation here that you are ready to pick up some challenges here. This is what we are seeing here. This card tells us also, if there is a kind of fear above you, we should get rid of this here. If you are afraid, maybe you are afraid for the wrong reasons. Sometimes this is something that comes out of our past. It's like a shadow that lives inside of us here, but actually here, this is also the card of adventure. And this is the card that is related to Sagittarius. So here we should trust our mind, smile at certain fears here. There are no big monsters waiting upon us here. Sometimes these are shadows of the moon. The moon is things that happens in our past and that are back reflected here. This is what we are seeing here. And we should trust our mind and laugh at our fears or give them a smile here. And you should take away these shadows that are projected on the wall of your imaginations. These are things that are born out of certain weaknesses here, and your ego is trying to push up it on them, and it tries to make you scared. So get rid of this habit of being afraid here, stop having fears, and begin appreciate the fact that you are not afraid at all, that you are able to make certain collective decisions, health decisions, also work decisions, but especially with this card here, we see that it's important not to work overtime. So Sagittarius, this is all for the Shallow the Water group. I hope you get a little bit wiser out of this short philosophical card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. If this card reading don't fit you at all, please check the other three that are immediately connected here. I'm sure one of the four will fit you. If you have interest in classic Lenormand card readings related to work business, you can find those also on my channel. So you just check it out there. We do 3 readings, and these 3 readings that I'm doing every month for you, you can make them together or put them together as a whole. This is what I'm doing here, or this is what the plan is. Anyway, Sagittarius, I want to thank you for your time. And of course, thank you for subscribing, and we see each other next time. Bye-bye for now. Hello Sagittarius, and welcome to the Air group for your for your philosophical spiritual card reading for the month of March. As your first card here, we should connect with our soul family. This doesn't mean necessarily your family. Your family is something else, but this means that we should connect here with the people that are or were once close to us. I give more explanation here. What does this really mean? Well, it means that it's not the time to be doing things alone, not try things alone here. It's possible with this card here that our mind, it feels a little bit isolated, and we could use, or we should use, some extra support and energy of other people here. It is with this card, it tells us that it's time to bring similar minds together here, people who think like us here. These are probably people that you know well, and that maybe maybe it's a long time you've seen these people, but we should reconnect with them. This is what we are seeing here. These people, they think the same way. Probably they have similar ideas, and they appreciate what is in your mind, and you appreciate what is in theirs here. And we should find a way here with this card to reunite with these people. This could be a long phone conversation if you have their phone number. You could also do with other media platforms here, have a communication by cam here. If you are able to do this in real person here, we could also share a meal. We take a walk in the park here. Anyway, we see here we need certain supports, affections, and this perspective or this meeting, it will energize you. If you lack a little bit of confidence, you will see if you have a conversation with others, you will try to start things more clearly. Now, it's possible that things are a little bit blurred now, and if you talk to others, the people who are really close to you here, you should see, or you can see here, that your things will become more clear in life and in the current situation probably that you are facing. The important thing with this card is that we hear a bell ring that sounds familiar. This is very important here with this card. We should take a step back. Sagittarius can mostly take very easy a big overview, and this is what we should do here. We should be a little bit philosophical, take a step back here, and have some relaxation, fun with people who are close to you in your personal life. As I said, this is not necessarily family, but these are really like soul people, soul connections here that you have here. You probably have connected with these people before if you had harder times in your life. So spend some time with these people here, and they will remind you what was once probably important for you and what is important for you as a person. They will give you, or they be willing to give you this additional support, and it will make you more successful. The next card here that we are seeing here is the card of decoration. What does this card tells us here? Well, we all know we have a body, we are living, we are residing in our body, and we are all aware that there is something above us here. It could be with this card here that the situation is not so clear here. You could feel a little bit dark. There could be some environmental, like where we live, the situation could not be tidy. So if your situation is not tidy and your house is not clean, this card tells us here to clean up our house a little bit here, because we really need that we have a clean environment. You should put things back in order here, open the blinds. If your house, if there are dark colors in your house, you should consider repainting or cleaning the walls. change the lighting if the lighting is a little bit too dark here, and brighten up actually the atmosphere where you are residing. If you don't really feel at home in the things that are around you here, we should change our environment here. We have need here, or our deeper self, it has need on a cheerful, festive place. This is what we are seeing here. You could also bring some plants in your house, fresh flowers, clean the windows, bright light. If you are not the plant type, you could also buy some things that require less maintenance. For instance, you can buy some cactuses here. This is what we are seeing here. Anything that brightens up the place and that gives you the feeling of that there is some life in your environment. This is what we are seeing here. Anyway, also on the body front here, we should see that we treat our body well. We eat health, we take care of our health here. Don't let also put other people push medication upon you. It's very important here. You should make your own decisions here, and we should treat our body like it belongs to a royal family. We should be respectful to our body here. It's like we invite some visitations, and it's important that we do visitors here, and it's important that we do this with our body here. If we invite some friends in our home, we don't, of course, we don't invite them in the gutter, but we invite them in a nice environment. If it's for a long time you didn't invite friends to your home, maybe there's a reason why you don't invite it, and maybe it's related to what I said earlier, and we should clean up our house a little bit. Also, it points that we have a certain respect for our higher selves, and we create a peaceful environment that it actually deserves. So take some time here to create a festive and cheerful atmosphere for your better of your conditions. Anyway, here we see that also ourselves, we should clean ourselves up. If we, for instance, we go out, we dress ourselves nice up, we take care of ourselves, of our body. This is what we are seeing here. It's important here that we make our body healthy and that we give a welcome to our body. The next card that we are saying here, that in certain areas of our life, we should say no. What does this card mean? Well, here we see that sometimes with this card we are exposed. Our ego exposes us. Our ego is our higher self. It develops since we are a child. Our education, our environment, our parents, things that are happening in our life, it all shapes us into the person that we or you are today here. And here we see that probably there are certain behaviors or circumstances that are not in your best interest. Maybe here sometimes with this card also it's a lack of self-love, as we saw here in the previous card here, but it's important here with these cards that we honor our spirits. So if there are some unclean things here, the cards these two are very close related here. It's important here that we are aware that our environment might be toxic. Also be careful for your health here, because toxic things here could come to you here. Be careful if you take certain medications, if medications are pushed upon you, be very careful here what you are doing. Anyway, here we see here sometimes there are dangerous influences here that could come to us. It's possible also that we ourselves, we could be unconsciously a little bit acting unloving. This is what we are seeing here also. We should think here about certain behaviors and certain reactions that we are receiving in our environment here. In another way, if you go health like against the flow and you think this is a positive thing to do, this could be the right choice. This is then the other way of the card. Anyway, here we see that there are choices to be made, and these choices, some choices that could put in front of you could be toxic choices. This is what we are seeing. So we need to be very careful here. We have our creator or the divine spirits here. They have given you the gift of free will, and you should think about it. And it allows you to make certain choices in your life. You are free to make these choices, but of course, if you make choices, negative or positive, as I said, these have consequences. Some of these health consequences that some of these health decisions that we are making here could have consequences on the long run. So examine the circumstances that you are in or that you are currently facing, and become aware of the choices that you and maybe other people are about to make. It's very important to do so. And if you decide on the wise Sagittarius that you are, and you think for yourself, it's best to say no, you should absolutely do so, because the card says no here. Anyway, it's also that here also, if some people would be willing to give us certain love here, we should accept this love here. This is what we are seeing here. We should have enough love here. And especially with this card, we should take our distance and say no to things that are not useful you, that could harm you. This is what we are seeing here. So if if you are confronted with certain conditions that you are not supporting, and that the people are putting pressure on you with this card, it's important to say no. So Sagittarius, this is all for the aerosol or the air group. I hope you get a little bit wiser out of this short philosophical card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. If this card reading don't fit you at all, please check the other 3 that are immediately connected here. I'm sure one of the 4 will fit you. If you have interest in classic Lenormand card readings, these are related to work job. You can find those also on my channel. And of course, we have the philosophical financial card readings that we also do each month. And the 3 you can weave to a whole, and it gives you a clear overview about the month to come. Anyway, Sagittarius, I want to thank you for your time. Excuse me. Thank you for subscribing, and we see each other next time. Bye-bye for now. Hello, Sagittarius, and welcome to the Stone group for your spiritual card reading. The first card that we are seeing here is that we should reach out to others. You see the bridge here, the bridge is reaching out to others. Anyway, here we see with this card that it's important now that we reach other, or that we let others reach out to you. It's important here that with this card sometimes also that some people are requiring certain services from us. This card doesn't mean that you need to play 911, but it could be possible that some people around you are requiring some help. Sometimes here serving, it's an act of great spiritual power. And here sometimes we are asked to strengthen others here. Anyway, we see here that we should not see if others are in need of certain help. I don't mean financial help. I mean like reaching out here. We should not see this as a sign of weakness here. Here we should look around us and notice in the areas where your mind is called for certain helps. Maybe if you look around us, maybe you didn't see, maybe you didn't pay attention. This could be easy things here. Maybe you need to be the wise Sagittarius and there is a quarrel in your surroundings and you need to help people calm down. This is what we are seeing here. It's about comforting others, help others to remind them that they should keep the balance here, because this is the card of balance. This is what we are seeing here. So open your eyes, your heart, and pay attention to occasions where your help is mentally or physically needed here. Make the difference, of course, between services and saving love and fear. Don't let yourself be distracted here from genuine service that is asked from you here. But here, if you do, you see here also with this card, if you aid others, it will make you stronger. This is what we are seeing here. Here we see that certain services are required from you and we should apply them. I mean, with people around you. The next card here, that we are seeing here, we should also dare to be happy. This is what this card is about. Sometimes it means if we help others here, we start to feel certain vibrations of joys. It might make us feel happy. This is what we are seeing here. Sometimes also it means that we have been imprisoned, or maybe we have been a long time inside here, and it's like we physically break out, or our mind is starting to break out. Maybe our ego has been locking ourselves up, maybe conditions have been locking ourselves up here. And here we see that we are about to reconnect here with the true divine nature that we have. Anyway, maybe you're a little bit uncomfortable with the situation here, that you start to feel better here. But actually here with this card, we should be openly happy here with this card. Even though if others are looking in strange or odd ways about you here, and they don't understand why you are happy here, we should not go into that here. Anyway, it means here, if we feel happy, sometimes also it could not, you could have the feeling or a double feeling here that maybe you're not allowed to feel happy. It's like our ego, our self-esteem, it's intimidating our higher selves here. And because it's not vibrating on the same frequency, and it's like you are here in two-spolt. This is what we are seeing here. And it's like your ego, it wants to keep you unhappy. And here with this card, we see that we need to get out of the grip here of the ego here, because it's like it's pulling, something is pulling us our back here, or you lose this happiness here. And we should here try to be happy. If you find some happiness, you should go into it. But our ego is possibly not the only saboteur here. It's possible also in your surroundings that you might encounter some people here that do not agree with the joy that you are vibrating, or they might keep you away from this happiness. This could be that people are jealous with you, that they are not agreeing with you, that they made pre-assumptions here. Here we see that they could display a certain dissatisfaction if you're happy. This is what we are seeing here. Anyway, also if some people are around you and you don't fit in these people's surroundings here, as to say here, we should be careful here, because there is a saying that goes here, misfortune loves company. Here we need to be careful here to not apply this on ourselves here. You should resist here and go into your happiness. There are some people here with this card mostly that are closely observers here, and they actually wait till you are back in your previous condition. This is what we are seeing here. But here, if we go into this vibration here, you will see that you are able to face these trials. So here we are asked here to hold up our head high and feel the joy that is momentarily above us here. Here we should see here that we should be careful and not to empathize also with people who actually are misfortunate, and we should also not establish connections with it. We should take our distance here with this card. We should share our joy with people who are in the same level as of us. Also, this is the card of sometimes being alone. If you feel a certain joy, it's possible that you need to take some distance here, and you will see if you temporarily take certain distance, one by one, people will be inspired of the joy if you go out, and they will begin to rise at a certain or at your vibration, and they will find also for themselves personal happiness. In the meantime, in the meanwhile, if you are feeling happy, you should enjoy your spirit here, and you should enjoy what is put above you from above. You are agreement here with these things that are upon you. The next card is that we are probably having a lot of energy. This is the card of energy that we are seeing here. Sometimes Sagittarius can be quite energetic. It's a fire sign here. And here we see with this card, we could have feeling that there are two possible ways here with this card. We could have, if people are coming on to us and they disagree with us here, it's possible that there are two ways here. We act, we attack, or we flee. This is this card here. It's like we're having a lot of adrenaline, energy. We feel ready to fight, ready to interact. This is what we are seeing here. And it's possible that there are certain hormonal conditions in our body, and it's difficult for us to connect with our spirit here. Sometimes this card is also that we are making rash decisions. Sometimes we make decisions before it's time. We draw conclusions before it's time. We draw irrelevant conclusions here, and we could react in a certain way. Maybe that is not appropriate. Here we should see, as we saw in the previous card, that we make a certain balance here. We should reconnect here with our higher mind, and we should really let some steam off, especially if you feel very energetic. For some people, this could mean that they are in need for going to the gym, hitting a sandbag. You go take a walk in somewhere where there's not many people. You shout for getting your adrenaline free here. This is what we are seeing here. Sometimes screaming in the wind, it could help you here. Anyway, we should talk to the universe what is going on in our lives here. You can grow like a bear here, all for letting some steam off here. Of course, if this is all not possible, if you are in a confined situation, or if you are not easy to go out of these, or things I just mentioned here are not possible, we could also write our worries and frustrations in a journal. Of course, it's not the intention that you should share this with anybody, but it's a way also to unleash certain angers here that we are having because of the adrenaline that we are feeling here. Here we see we should write down what we are feeling here, and we should wait till this feeling of assertiveness or even aggressiveness is vanished here, and you start to calm down. Don't make decisions. This card tells us here, when you're upset, don't pick up the phone. If you receive certain emails and they are shaking you up a little bit, don't respond to those emails. Wait till you see things more clearly before you act. And here we see, if we wait to act, your higher spirit, it could kick in here. Also with this card, sometimes it will not apply on everybody, but sometimes here we should be careful that others don't attack us, or we don't attack others. So this card works two ways. It's possible here that others could be assertive or aggressive to us here, and we should unload here in a neutral place. Also, if people come up to us here, it's the best here with this card that we stay neutral. We are the wise Sagittarius that you are, and you take some distance here. Also, if you feel certain anxieties, try to get rid of these anxieties, try to get rid of your stress. This is what we are seeing here. Also, sometimes meditation, it can help here, or being some time alone. Anyway, if we are very assertive at this time, it also blocks our higher mind, and maybe we might not have access to things that we are normally can access. Maybe we don't see things clear here. Anyway, this is a card of safely unwinding ourselves here. You really should, at certain moments, diffuse. It's very important here that we see certain situations in a clear light. Anyway, Sagittarius, this is all for the Stone Group. I hope you get a little bit wiser out of this short philosophical card reading, spiritual also. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. If this card reading don't fit you at all, please check the other three that are immediately connected here. I'm sure one of the four will fit you. If you have interest in classic Lenormands, we do classic Lenormands, but they are more orientated on work and business. You can check those also out. And of course, we have the financial philosophical card reading, and the three you can weave to a whole, and they give you a more clear view on your current situation for the months to come, or for the month to come. Anyway, Sagittarius, thank you for your time, thank you for subscribing, and we see each other next time. Bye bye for now. Hello Sagittarius, and welcome to the Fire or the Matches group for your spiritual philosophical card readings. As your first card here, we see that we need to decide on certain outcomes in our life. Here we should make decisions, and we should think about make creative decisions. It's important here that we do so. We all have an ego, a self-esteem. This developed through the years since we were a child. There are certain conditions, our parents, things that we encountered in our life, our education, and it all shaped us in who we are. Anyway, sometimes this card tells us that our ego or our self-esteem, it refuses to recognize that we might see ourselves as a victim here. There could be a feeling of desperation over you, and you could feel for the moment that you are at the mercy of fate here, and you could think here that you have no choice here. But here, this card wants us to remind that we are actually the creator of the divine. This is what we are seeing here. And here we see, if we focus on things here and we put on our mind to things and we wish for it or we focus on it, we can accomplish certain goals. Anyway, the best way to support this process here is to clearly state or think about what you want. You need to, it's like the judge here who's in the restaurant, he need to decide upfront what he will eat. So this is what is asked from you. Before you eat, we need to decide what we're gonna eat. If we make no certain decisions, we cannot have a clear outcome. So you need to, it's like we need to project our intentions in the universe here. For instance, we're giving an example here, rather I'm giving an example here for a job, except like, for example, if we are hoping to get a new job, just decide that you want one. This is what we are seeing here. And you will see that your mood is changing. It will give you a satisfying effect on you. This is what we are seeing here. If we are strongly longing to find love and hoping on love here, we should focus on finding love. It's very important here. For some people, Sagittarius, sometimes also he's a religious sign. We could also pray to our divinity, pray to higher spirits, whatever applies on you. Also meditation here. We should focus on finding this love here. And you should decide that you want to find this love rather than not focusing on it here. There could be also some kind of feeling that you are afraid here to actually express these wishes, but you should visualize them here. Visualization, the manifestation of your goals here, and also expect them to happen, because this is actually a very positive card here, that we can come on the right track here. This is what we are seeing here. Here, sometimes it means also that we are too much connected to hope and daydreaming. In general, Sagittarius is a very positive sign, but it could mean that we are depending too much on hope and we don't focus enough here. And it's possible that these hopes, daydreams, they are in a way manipulating yourself here. And you have a kind of doubt here, but if you focus here, you could create, you are able to create here with this card what you actually want and what you're wishing for. And if you do so, expect also to get it, because this is a very positive card here. This card is ruled by Jupiter, which is your sign. The next card that we are seeing here is if we feel in a difficult way here, for relaxing ourselves, music could be a good thing to have. If there is for a long time no music around you, invite yourself for having some music. As we say, music is the bridge to heaven. This is what we are seeing here, and you should enjoy the blessings of music. It will have a very positive effect on you here. If you for a long time decided to keep away from music, you didn't allow music in our life here, sometimes it means that our ego downplays the importance of music. But here we see that this card actually tells us the opposite. If you listen to music, it's like we are fueling ourselves. We are fueling something higher in ourselves. You will also notice that there are certain vibrations awakened in your heart here, and that you feel more joyous and enthusiastic. This is what we are seeing here with this card. So put on some music in order to accept this higher vibe here, because here we see here that there is a divine inspiration possible to come over us. You will see that your mind, it will calm down, and you will feel certain guidance in your life. This could be a spiritual guidance that is come upon you here. This is what we are seeing here. Of course, you should choose inspiring melodies that are close to you here. This is what we are seeing here, that give you a good feeling. if you see here, we should think here that, or we should see life here as a dance. We should start dance to a certain beats here, and it will cover your fears here. So let the music play here. This is what we are seeing here. It will be a most energetic way here to dispel certain negativities here that that maybe are around you, and it will remove more obstacles that you might currently facing, maybe related to certain decisions that you need to take, as we saw here in the first card. Anyway, it will be a liberating vibration, this music that you allow in your life, and you will start to see that you will detach of certain patterns in your life. And maybe here also with this card, it tells us that maybe there are certain things in your life where you need to decide upon. And as you listen to music, you will get a clear view on what is no longer useful for you. This is what we are seeing here. And here it's like we are changing channel. This is what we are seeing here. It's like we are guided more by our conscious mind. And this music will calm you in the present moment. While you listen to it here, you will see that it will bring you most likely a more happy and peaceful and more clear outcome. This is what we are seeing here. The last card that we are seeing here is the card that advises us here to open our heart. Maybe we locked ourselves off, as we saw here. Maybe it's time to find love here. We should also, for starters, start loving ourselves here. We should accept certain graces here that are offered by your mind here. But it's very important here with this card that we try to open our heart here. We should try to taste love here in all kinds of way, whatever applies on you. This could be a godly, a heavenly love, but sometimes also it's that we actually have physical love with a person. It's possible here that you locked yourself heart open, and that your heart is not open for the moment. Maybe there's certain reasons, maybe you have difficult times here, but here we are asked to try to slowly open our heart again here. In general, most of us are born with a welcome heart here, and this card tells you that you could, if you open your heart, have very positive experiences here. It's very important here that you keep an open heart here. It doesn't mean that you need to be naive. This is not what this card here, but with the right people, you should open your heart here. Our spirit here, and here we see that it's very basic here. With it's very important here that one of your basic needs now is love, and you need to meet those needs. But if we are not allowing, some things that are actually need to come upon us might not be possible. So if you want to come in connection with yourself and you want to go in certain directions here, it's important here that we open our heart to certain loves. It's possible that you had certain conditions before, that you encountered people who caused you pain on the love front here, they disappointed you, and therefore you decided to close off your heart. But here our higher spirit tells us here that your heart might be still closed, and it's time also to open it again. If you keep your heart closed, sometimes it could be a source of additional pain. And it's possible that your ego, your self-esteem, it tries to convince you that you should stay as you are. And this disconnects you from the real source. So here we see that if we want to receive our dearest wish, we should take the risk and try to open our heart again. This is what we are seeing here. We should believe in our heart and in our higher selves. So Sagittarius, this is all for the fire group. I hope you get a little bit wiser out of this short philosophical card reading. If you did, please subscribe to my channel. If this card reading don't fit you at all, please check the other 3 that are immediately connected here. I'm sure one of the 4 will fit you. If you have interest in readings that are more closely to work, business, you can also check these on my channel. We do the classic Lenormand card readings for work and business. And then we also have the financial card readings. These are also more philosophical. You can find the 3 and weave them together till a whole for the month to come. Anyway, Sagittarius, I want to thank you for your time. You can find all the information on my channel. Thank you for watching my videos. Thank you for subscribing, and we see each other next time. Bye-bye for now.